The long shadow of colonialism, enduring harms. The effect of colonialism continue to be felt in many parts of the world today. These harms are not just historical artifacts, they are ongoing realities that shape the lives of millions of people. Economic inequality and dependency. Colonialism created vast disparities in wealth and resources between former colonizers and colonized nations. This legacy of economic exploitation persists, with many former colonies grappling with poverty, debt, and limited access to global markets. Their economies are often structured to serve the interests of wealthy nations, hindering their ability to achieve self-sufficiency and prosperity. Political instability and weak institutions. The colonial era often left a legacy of weak institutions, corruption, and political instability in many former colonies. Arbitrary borders drawn by colonial powers, the suppression of indigenous political systems, and the imposition of foreign models of governance have created fertile ground for conflict and authoritarianism. Cultural trauma and loss of identity. Colonialism systematically sought to suppress and erase indigenous cultures, languages, and identities. This cultural violence has left deep scars on individuals and communities, leading to a loss of historical memory, cultural knowledge, and traditional practices. The psychological and social impacts of this trauma continue to affect generations. Environmental degradation and resource depletion. The relentless exploitation of natural resources during the colonial era has led to widespread environmental degradation, deforestation, pollution, and the loss of biodiversity. These environmental consequences disproportionately affect indigenous communities and those living in poverty who often depend on the land for their livelihoods. Health disparities and social inequality. Colonialism also contributed to significant health disparities and social inequalities. The introduction of new diseases, the disruption of traditional healthcare systems, and the denial of adequate healthcare access have left a lasting legacy of poor health outcomes in many former colonies. Psychological and intergenerational trauma. The violence, displacement, and cultural erasure experienced by colonized people have created a legacy of psychological trauma that can be passed down through generations. This intergenerational trauma can manifest in various ways, including mental health issues, substance abuse, and social dysfunction. Reparations, righting the wrongs of the past. The concept of reparations involves recognizing and addressing the harms caused by colonialism. It can take many forms, including financial compensation, the return of stolen cultural artifacts, and apologies for past wrongs. Financial compensation. This could involve direct payments to individuals or communities who were harmed by colonialism, as well as investments in infrastructure, education, and healthcare in former colonies. Restitution of cultural property. Many cultural artifacts were looted from colonized territories and are now housed in museums and private collections in former colonial powers. Returning these artifacts to their rightful owners is an important step towards cultural healing and restoration. Formal apologies. Formal apologies from former colonial powers can acknowledge the harm caused by colonialism and help to promote reconciliation and healing. Reconciliation, building a shared future. Reconciliation involves acknowledging the past and working towards a shared future based on mutual respect, understanding, and cooperation. This can involve truth and reconciliation commissions, public education initiatives, and cultural exchange programs. Truth-telling. Truth and reconciliation commissions provide a forum for victims of colonialism to share their stories and for perpetrators to acknowledge their wrongdoing. This process can help to heal wounds and promote understanding between different communities. Education. Public education initiatives can raise awareness about the history of colonialism and its ongoing impact. This can help to challenge stereotypes and foster empathy and understanding between different cultures. Cultural exchange. Cultural exchange programs can promote cross-cultural understanding and appreciation, helping to bridge the divide between former colonizers and colonized people. The process of reparations and reconciliation is ongoing and complex. There are no easy answers or quick fixes. It requires a willingness to confront difficult truths, to acknowledge past wrongs, and to work towards a more just and equitable future for all. The legacy of colonialism is a shared responsibility. It requires the collective effort of former colonizers and colonized peoples alike to heal the wounds of the past and build a more inclusive and equitable world.